hit, push that little clip down on the back. Yeah. Now cock it up a little bit, then with the left. Yeah. One more time. All right. All right, Israel. Conference call.
They say they started, which is good, but they can't hear.
They gonna fix the audio. Conference call. Somebody please move the phone. Soraya. Oh, okay, we'll come back around. All right, Israel. Most High Christ bless your body.
Most High Christ bless you too.
All right, so all praises to the Most High for giving us the spirit to come here, to learn what the will of the Lord is. And learn to keep the commandments of the Lord through faith in Christ.
Starting. If you are the host, please enter your... We will now connect you to your call. You are the first attendee in this conference. The host has conference recording started.
All right, so I've explained to y'all what y'all just witnessed, like the conference call. So not only do we have all our classes on video, we also have them on audio too. Okay, so we, before the time passed, offer CDs to brothers and sisters that want to listen to them in the car. You know, it's good to meditate, stay in the spirit, stay in the scriptures. Listen to the classes, you know, when you're driving or whatever. So if anybody wanted a CD to listen into the car, then just let me know and I'll let you know how to go about it and shut that door for you out. Okay. Yeah, sure. I mean, you got a good time passing around.
I'm gonna make one.
No. the music returns. Take a seat. When he get it, when he get it, then he'll say, "Bing, we got it." If not, he's just gonna keep going back and forth till he's satisfied. Israel. All right. So, Daniel 7. This is the topic. Daniel 7 and 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down. However, though, before we get into our topic, I want to address something. I want to make a small brief announcement. We're going to the low connection mode. Can somebody check the live and see? Still going? Sure. It's frozen? All right. Back. I don't think so. What is it? I'm buffering. Oops. It keeps this standing there. All right. So it's supposed to be back. So listen. Very quickly. I'm praying that it's got together. So like I said, the topic is going to be, and I'll be here. Well, then you're going to see all the thrones cast down. Praise the Most High. You're going to see these demons burn, crash, and fall to the ground. Be eradicated. Everybody cheering. Oh, y'all praises the Most High. Weeping and crying because everything is so exciting. That's going to be a good day for some. But for others, it's going to be a very, very big war. But this announcement is very important too. Okay? Exodus, the 18th chapter. I'm going to spend a lot of time doing it. Just going to get back to our schedule. Celebration. Okay. Exodus chapter 18, and we'll start at verse 13.
This is Exodus chapter 18 and verse 13. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moses from morning until the evening. And when Moses, his father-in-law, saw all that he did to the people.
So Moses sat, and it completely stopped. Yeah. It's impossible. I'm sorry, y'all. Give me a moment. It's not doing it right now. We downstairs. Let's see what they can do. Yeah. I don't think they have anything to do with it. It's hot. I don't know what the rent is going to do. All right, this announcement I actually wanted it to be for our lives too, because I got some extended family that needs to get this, announcement too. I'm gonna tell them this thing off. some patient people. I appreciate y'all. I don't get no better than y'all, man. Yeah,
It was bad, but I'm not gonna get it.
really.
I just told you.
Y'all should tell me when
He wants to take it. Tell you what,
let me see. Good catch. Ask them, do they see it? Huh? Yeah. Okay. Let's see right there, right there. You got that level, it must be a problem. Got that straight. Got that straight. All right, so Exodus 18, y'all. Exodus 18, and 13. So Moses set from Israel from morning to evening. That's what he did. He the prophet. He was a prophet of God. And questions that they had, they would come to Moses, and they would get answers. And when his father-in-law saw it, he said, "Wait a minute, Moses." He asked him why he do it. Verse 14, Moses' father-in-law, he saw that he had did, and he said, "What is this thing that thou doest unto the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee from morning to evening?" I mean, they're waiting for you, this, that, and the third. Moses said unto his father-in-law, "Because the people come unto me to inquire of God." And that's exactly how I feel personally. Read on that.
Verse 16. When they have a matter, they come unto me.
Right. People, when they have a matter, they come unto me. You know, I get phone calls about everything. Okay? Everything from A to Z. Spare no expense when it comes to what people come about. When I say spare no expense, I'm literally saying spare no expense. Go ahead.
And I judge between one and another.
Right, yeah, and judge between, meaning, hey, make sense of things, come out the scriptures. That's what he do. Go ahead.
And I do make them know the statutes of God.
Right, so you have to go into the law and say, hey, you gotta make them to know, this is what the Lord has to say. Go ahead.
And his laws.
And the laws. Go ahead.
And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, the thing that thou doest is not good.
Wait a second. Now Moses would be like, I'm bringing out the laws. I'm helping them to see and understand and know things. But Moses' father-in-law, which obviously would have been on the outside looking in and seen how this thing was taking an effect unto his brother. So he said, hey, that couldn't be good for you. Go ahead.
Verse 18, thou wilt surely wear away.
So what was happening with Moses? He was wearing himself. His patience was wearing, because remember, he's dealing with situations over and over, sometimes the same situations over and over, new situations. It becomes, I don't know whether to say burdensome, but it was a massive load, okay? So through the Spirit, now the Most High has got to talk to Moses and tell him about that. Go ahead.
Both thou and this people that is with thee. For this thing is too heavy for thee. thou art not able to perform it thyself alone.
Right, so don't go about it yourself alone. Go ahead.
Verse 19, hearken now unto my voice. I will give thee counsel, and God shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to Godward, that thou mayest bring the causes unto God.
Right, so you're gonna bring, you truly indeed, you are going to be godly, meaning you're gonna be holy to the people, and you are going to bring the causes unto the Most High. But there's a way that he's gonna instruct him and advise him according to the Spirit of the Lord to bring things to the Most High. Okay, go ahead.
And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shalt show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And let them judge the people at all seasons.
And let them judge the people for all those things. Go ahead.
And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee.
Right, so when the matter is beyond their experience or, above the greatness of their understanding, they're gonna bring it to you. Go ahead.
But every small matter they shall judge.
Right, every small matter. So what has been happening, I've been able to judge. I've been judging the great and the small, and that is gonna stop. That is going to stop. I'm no longer going to take personal phone calls. I'm no longer going to be on the phone from sun up to sundown. When you have a matter, I have adequate help. These brothers here to help me, these brothers been with me for years. They know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. So from this point forward, you will not be calling me saying, yo, elder, this, that, and the third. Not trusting in these brothers. Call one of these brothers. If you are a man. If you are a woman, call my wife. Ask her. Or call one of the other sisters in the congregation. Don't call Keisha down the street. Keisha don't know what the heck she's doing. Call a God-fearing woman with experience that knows to keep the commandments of the Lord. Ask her, and then take her word according to the scriptures. You don't have to circumvent around and then call. Let me call and ask the elder himself and make sure that the thing is true and it is right. It's true and it is right. Call them. Hear it from them. You will no longer be getting it from me. I will not answer your phone calls. That is the scriptures. We must learn to apply the scriptures. That's not saying, oh, I don't love you as a brother. I don't love you as a sister. I don't love you as a son, as a daughter. Oh, of course I do. Still. But take your calls. This is a small matter. This is something simple. Okay? Finish.
So shall it be easier for thyself.
So it's going to be easier for me. This is the counsel Jethro is telling Moses. It will be easy for you, Moses, if you let these people, let your brothers help you. Now, when you read the 21st verse, first of all, they are able men. They fear the Most High. And people that fear the Most High, they don't disobey his word. So it's not like you going to a sinner. Oh, I'm going to a sinner. I'm going to somebody that don't know. Men of truth, they're going to speak to you what's right. They're going to open up the book. To give you an example, I hyper-sensitive at the time. I'll be present at a situation, and these brothers will do 99.99% of the speaking. And trust and believe, and y'all know me, that if one of them is saying something wrong, I'll be like, okay, I'll hold up. That part right there, that ain't right. But this is right here. Now keep going. And we keep going. So you ain't getting nothing wrong. Men of what? Men of truth, hating covetousness, and place over them. So you ain't getting somebody that don't know what they talking about. Somebody that don't know what they doing. Okay? We're gonna jump back. Wait a minute. So it says to be rulers, so they ought to be respected. They ought to be respected. Oh, that's just you like me. Nope. They ain't like you. They ruling over you. So at this point, I'm through the Spirit of the Most High Yahweh, these brothers are rulers. They ruling over you in the scriptures. In other words, they will bring forth the rule. They will say, okay, brother, this is what the Most High said. See it right here. Because when you read, what verse is that? Verse 20, thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do. So this is the rule right here, showing you things according to the scriptures. Okay? So now, where we stop at?
Verse 22, last precept.
All right.
And verse 22, last precept. And they shall bear the burden with thee.
Right. And so the load of answering the questions and helping things out, the load to be helped. Carried. So extended family that's used to talking to me on a daily basis, on an every other day basis, I'll talk to you personally and say, hey, I'm gonna sign this brother to you know what I'm saying, to make sure y'all have a communication in the scriptures. Call this brother will call you. Sisters, you already know. Y'all got a women's class. So now you can just pick up the phone and call. These things, this is a no-brainer. This is an easy fix. This congregation is to help bear the burden. So remember, when you don't get the answer, and a lot of times, I have to give myself a break. Who knows how I have to give myself a break? Anybody in here know? Bunny, you think you know?
You said a couple times.
Okay,
You cut off the phone.
yeah.
Maybe you tried that.
Yeah, I'll just cut the phone off. Yeah, I have to just cut it off. It'll ring, 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 ring. And trust and believe, I've never felt, oh, damn, I gotta answer this question. Nah. Nope. I run to it. I never felt like that. I'm sick, hurt, busy, dealing with my own house. I've never one time felt that it was a burden. But I do know and understand that if I want you to get the adequate time that it takes, that is going to take some help. So I don't want to shortchange you, because I can comprehend much in few words, because I understand quite a bit, and it'll make sense to me. So a 5-minute conversation, you might be looking for 50 minutes, and I'll refer a class to you. When when the brother would take the moment and say, hey, I got this hour. I'm gonna be willing to, I got 5 minutes, because to me it makes sense. This is a no-brainer. Stop breaking the law. Turn from sin as the face of a serpent. Flee fornication. Stop smoking. Stop doing this. Stop that. To me, that's the answer. You understand that? Yeah. But you might need more than that. Okay? So, nothing personal. It's just that according to scriptures, brothers should bear the burden. Okay? So y'all brothers expect to help a lot, tremendously, a lot more. Read verse 23.
Verse 23. If thou shalt do this thing, and God command thee so, then thou shalt be able to endure. And all this people shall also go to their place in
You
peace.
see that? So it's about both of us, okay? Yeah. Y'all do it, y'all should do it as thing. And then you'll be able to undo it. So I definitely want to personally, be able to undo it. Okay, and not war away. Okay? And all these people shall go also to their place in peace. So the Lord said, you're gonna get peace from this. You ain't gonna be lacking nothing. Okay? So everybody clear and everybody understand that? Follows? All right. All right. So now let's get to the good part. Yeah, I'll tell you what, before we get that. Right, dang. Jeremiah 28 and 8. And then we'll do Daniel 7. Okay. Jeremiah chapter 28, and we'll start at verse 5.
This is Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 5. Then the prophet Jeremiah said unto the prophet Hananiah, in the presence of the priests, and in the presence of all the people that stood in the house of the Lord, even the prophet Jeremiah said, Amen. The Lord do so. The Lord perform thy words which thou hast prophesied, to bring again the vessels of the Lord's house, and all that is carried away captive from Babylon into this place. Nevertheless, hear thou now this word that I speak in thine ears, and in the ears of all the people, the prophets that have been before me.
So notice this. So Jeremiah is letting Israel know the prophets that have been before him, because he's speaking of himself. Go ahead.
And before thee,
And before you. Go ahead.
of old, prophesied both against many countries.
Right. They prophesied both against many countries. So when you hear me saying something like, I beheld till the thrones came down, boom, it's going to be fall, burn, and come on, man. All the prophets, they said that. So that's not being, ooh, shh, don't say that. Y'all tripping. No, we gotta bring it out. We have to let you know that all the prophets that they did themselves prophesy against countries. The United States is a country. Americas is a country. Okay, so these countries have to be prophesied against. Okay, Saudi Arabia, that's a country. Africa, that's a country. They're a continent with many countries upon it. Go ahead.
And against great kingdoms.
Right, and against kingdoms. Okay, America is a kingdom. Don't worry, that don't be shy. Yeah, Israel and against kingdoms. Remember, what are they saying? Make America what? Make it great again. It was never great. All right? This place ain't, not since they've been here. It's worse and worse. Evils under the Roman Greco Empire. Evils have been always multiplied in the earth. And when those people, when the other nations are in rulership and power, times always get worse, according to the scriptures. Evils be multiplied in the earth. The laws be taken away. Man laws be put up. God laws get taken down. I went out to camp today. The brothers doing a good job. Brothers was teaching about fornication, and people were just completely lost. And you know what? You know what? Well, we have likened marriage and relationships to the breeding of animals. Animals mate when they get what?
Yeah, heat.
That's right, brother. They mate when they get in heat. So anytime a human being get in heat, they just find the next closest person to mate with, to go deal with. They'll know that they feeling some type of way, they'll be in heat, they'll go to the bar, they'll go to the club. And they gonna do they do. They say, I'm going home with somebody. That's what animals do. A dog, if she's in heat, she don't get in heat and be like, I got a husband in the gate. You understand? At home in the gate. You know, I know I'm just outside roaming the street, but I got a husband at home in the gate. She don't do that. It's just let anybody sniff up on her. This ain't going against my sisters. Well, I remember comparing Israel when we start in the act of fornication, when we start burning, we act like animals. The brother was beautifully breaking down. We are kingdom of priests, and kingdom of priests supposed to act a certain way. Then he went into the law from the beginning on how the Lord had told the priesthood to be, that we could have never had a woman that had been with a man. She had to be from her virginity, in her virginity. She couldn't have been a widow. She couldn't have been a divorcee. That's how unique and special. So every time, that was supposed to have been the first experience of their lives, being together. And as this message was coming out, the crowd was on the bus stop across the street dancing. It's to the point to where the brothers, they rode the camp up. And when I was like, I just laughed. I was like, whoa, you know. I'm in the car sick, you know, allergies or whatever. I'm like, I was like, yo, what happened, man? They got to you out here. We drove off, it was 50 people on the scene. I said, Israel is rebellious. They drove the men's away, man. They was not listening. They put their backs to him the whole time. Then every now and then somebody would turn around and rebuttal something. And I came to the car, I said, yeah, they listening, you know, they just stubborn. The whole time, all this information is just being, running across their head and them not understanding anything. That's why this place has got to be destroyed. So know for sure, this ain't about brown and red with shades of brown. It ain't no white people upon the face of the earth. The saints, our righteousness, is described as garments, white garments, but other than that. So we have to prophesy with Jeremiah 28 and 8, they prophesied, all the prophets, they prophesied against countries, against great kingdoms. So it doesn't matter, how big the kingdom is, what it looks like. You gotta say, man, this kingdom is gonna come down. It's gonna come to an end. What do people think is great? Why do people, and I was just looking at it for a long time the other day. My memory leaving. What's Zebulon? Is where they fleeing from?
Towards the border.
Honduras.
Right, Honduras. And they leaving Honduras. Those Israelites. They leaving Honduras. And guess what, man? They walking over 2,000 miles, man. They walking shit through Mexico.
Yep.
Trying to get into the United States. And that's what the wall, they trying to build the wall. They got almost $8 million now. They started with nothing in a GoFundMe. See, they make GoFundMe rich, man. And the GoFundMe to keep people out. But Flint, Michigan is still drinking sewer water, brown water. Turn on the thing, look like tobacco spit coming up the faucet. Brown water. So Israel, the great kingdoms, they not so great because you can dance and you can smoke in rebellion. It's gonna come a point in time, man, you ain't gonna be able to do that. You're gonna get shut down. The Lord gonna shut you down, man. In war, if you're alive, you're gonna be the ones that's gonna die. We're gonna read about it tonight. Just keep your interest captivated. And if you're alive during World War III, there's gonna be soldiers on this American soil. Like this Bible is a damn lie. And they ain't read no lies yet. This Bible is not lying. They're gonna penetrate these states. They ain't bad as you think they are. You just think they're bad because that fear is in us to where anytime you hesitate, you caught off guard, you could get knocked out. Well, the presence of the police intimidating so bad to where you just want to go in peace, they get all up on you, they rough you up, they'll put you in cuffs and beat you. And that's where the fear factor come in at. It's like defenseless, like they pick on defenseless people. But guess what, man? It's nations out here with nukes and bombs too. Troops and soldiers too. You understand? They ain't scared. And once they start going all out at each other, the gloves gonna be off. You ever been into a fight and once that sting and that first slap and that hit and that scratch get to you, it's like you ain't really hurting no more. It's like now you like in the battle. That's how it was when you athletes, we grew up playing sports. Once you get that first hit, that first tackle, that first scuffle, I mean, it's like mano against mano now. You know what I'm saying? The anticipation of the effect of the fur is now gone. So I'm telling you, America's gonna be penetrated. This Bible says so. The nations don't know how to read it because they love the world. But we know how to read it because we love the Lord. And he gave us the understanding to know how to read it. Okay? So when we prophesy, we are Isaiah 28:8, Jeremiah 28:8, when we prophesy about these great kingdoms, we have to tell you that they got to come down. And as a matter of fact, in order for a kingdom to be great, it has to be rich. It has to be full of wealth. And people have got to like it. They got to love it. They got to desire. And that's how they are for America. They love it. They desire it. They got to have it. They want it. They want to come here. Okay? When this is one of the most bloodiest places, to be for real. As a matter of fact, did y'all see the post about being a nigga? See what they put on you? So now who through the spirit they was proof? Who was the real nigga? All these nations is. Because it just, but I've been saying it for how long? I've been saying it for the longest forever. Because I know what it means. It means to be greedy, to be stingy. Okay? So, they're prophesied against great kingdoms of war. So we got to prophesy, we got to tell you about wars, things that happen, and of evil. So you got to prophesy against evil. What's evil? What the scripture says evil. The other guy that came up into the camp that was kind of bugged out, he got some information he got, it was from the scriptures, but he didn't even realize. I don't even think you caught it. Do you know what I'm talking about? The man had glasses on, had a coat on. The older guy.
Yeah.
What did he say? Yeah, him was talking about flesh and sin and so on and so forth. What was he saying? I can't think of the thing that he said. But I'll start to say, see, people that don't want to believe in the Bible, they'll be first to quote something that's listed in the Bible, but don't want to believe in the Bible. And from the car, I want to be like, well, where did you get that from? Where did you get that sentence from? That sentence you stole from the Bible. But yet you don't believe in the Bible. If you don't believe in the Bible, you should not quote one sentence from it to support your theory. You can't even use the word steal. You can't use the word steal. You can't use adultery. You can't use murder. You can't use kill. You can't use love your neighbor. Can't use nothing, man. If you use that, you gotta use the rest. If you use that, then we gotta check, and then we have opportunity to use everything else. So you have to prophesy. You gotta say, yo, man, that's evil. Homosexuality, lesbianism is evil. Okay? And of pestilence, destruction. Read it from the top.
This is Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Now go to Daniel 7. Daniel, the Lord in a dream is finna show Daniel the world wars, 1 and 2, and 3. Because he said when we get to close to our point, he's gonna, He's telling you he saw the destruction of everything. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions. So I'm in the first verse. And visions of his head upon his bed. So some of you brothers and sisters, y'all be dreaming these dreams. These be things that are going to happen. You must remember these dreams. Because when they happen, you're supposed to be like, hey, I'm in a dream. This is what the Lord showed me. And then you must do what you remember doing in the dream. If you had to deliver yourself in the dream, then you must deliver yourself if you live out that dream. I've had that happen to me. I'm not lying to you. That's how I know what I'm saying, man. They don't all come like right away. I was a teenager. I'm not gonna go into, I can't go into details. It's personal and private. I was a teenager, and the dream didn't come to true until it didn't come to pass until I was an adult. And when I looked up, we call it deja vu. You ever had a moment like that? This deja vu? I was in my full mind. As I don't drink now, y'all know I ain't no smoker, but I didn't drink. I was sober, didn't drink, didn't smoke, no nothing. And it's like I just turned my head both ways, and I'm like, this seems familiar. And I was like, oh, I'm in the dream. And then I was able to deliver myself. I was able to deliver myself because I remember what I did in the dream. Okay? So a lot of these things that y'all see in these dreams, they might come years later. Just like Daniel's dreams were for times way past Daniel. And it's still not completed. Verse 2, Daniel spake and said, I saw it in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea. And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one another. The sea is people, sea is people, and the four great beasts are not animals. They are men, great men, okay? The one was like a lion and had an eagle's wings, and I beheld, meaning I looked, to the eagles thereof were plucked. to the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, meaning they got killed, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given unto it. And behold, another beast, a second like to a bird, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh, meaning to kill. So it was raised up as a leader to kill. Verse 6, after this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. So this is another beast that was like a leopard, but he had wings of a fowl on his back. And the beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given unto it. So remember, I don't want to go too far because I drift sometimes, but Alexander, how he had suspected that he should die, and he departed his kingdom. This is what Daniel 7th chapter and verse 6 is going into concerning the 4 heads. Verse 7, after this I saw in the night visions. So he's still seeing visions that night. And behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible and exceedingly strong, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the other beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. So this is going into the European Union, the Romans, okay? Verse 8, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them a little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots, and behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a man speaking great things. I beheld, so meaning he continued to see in the dream, okay? Like, till the thrones were cast down. So everything that you was just reading about were thrones and kingdoms and beasts, meaning these men and all their counterparts, all their helpings, were kingdoms that were set up on the earth. He said, I continue. That's a beautiful thing. You ever had a dream to where you want that dream to be extended? You want that dream to be extended. I mean, like, hey, I want to see more. This thing was like an adventure to him, man. So in this, the Lord prolonged this thing to where he can see the details. He saw the interaction, the intermaking. He saw all these heathens upon the earth and how they were acting and behaving and ruling and killing and doing this and the third. He was like, I'm gone. He said, I beheld. That means he was able to continue to see, but he saw until all those thrones were cast down. Those are the same thrones that we envy. A lot of brothers and sisters envy. Those are the same ones that you want to emulate and be just like. You want to please the ones that sit on these thrones so that you can be the next Hollywood star, the next American Idol, America's Got Talent. You want to be the next this, the next that. Hey, that's going to come to pass, man. You better get smart in this truth. You better be wise to do good, because that's what this is all about. That's what's going to save you, and it doesn't cost you a dime to become wise to do good. Okay? It says, and the ancients of days did sit. Now that's God, that's the Most High, whose garment was white as snow. So he said, after he saw everything destroyed, he saw the Most High. You can finish reading for me.
Verse
No.
9. And the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him.
Right, so around the Most High, he said he saw. Remember he said, I behold, I beheld. So he saw thousands. That's millions. Ministered, meaning around the Most High. So your foreparents that kept the commandments of the Most High and believed in Christ, are they dead? No, their spirit is not dead. No, they are with the Lord. Go ahead.
And 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him.
Right, there are people that stood before him. I would bet that many of these saints that are in the presence of the Lord are the same ones that walk this earth and put in much work. That's the reason why I be trying to tell y'all, knock it off. Knock it off. It's game over for playing games. Time out for playing games. All right? You don't know what the Most High can have in store for you. All right? So it's time out. So we're at Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9. It said 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The ones that stood before the Lord, trust and believe. If the Lord wants something done, if he wanted something done, he know how to do it. Hold this and get Jeremiah, the 1st chapter, in verse 4 and 5.
This is Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 4. Jeremiah chapter 1 and 4. Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee.
Right. So the Lord was telling Jeremiah, the word came unto him and said, hey, before I formed you in the belly, I knew thee. So Jeremiah did not have a body, he was in spirit. One more time.
This is Jeremiah chapter 1 and 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee.
Right. Go ahead.
And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee.
Right. So we understanding that? Right. Said before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. And before you came forth out of the womb, I sanctified you. So the Lord separated Jeremiah to this cause. Sent him here. Read the next part.
And ordained thee a prophet.
Now he's on the earth. But before he was on the earth, where was he? Right. The Lord said, I knew you. So now we're reading in Daniel 7. And Daniel was saying that he saw 10,000 times 10,000 that stood before the Lord. What manner of people should we be, knowing that something like this is capable? Oh, I'm not saying that we all gonna stand before the Lord, or we all stood before the Lord, but I can guarantee you that he knew us all before her. Now, where our place was before her, I don't know, I can't say that, but I'm just showing you in scripture that these are people that stood before the Most High. So if you wretched and wicked and rebellious and evil now, you will most likely not have been one of those persons that stood before the Lord. Prove to yourself what manner of person you are. Then you could make yourself happy. Sometimes we try and get other people to make us happy by wanting their self-approval. Approve of me so I can feel happy. No, you have to put your own work in. Then you're going to be able to have rejoicing in yourself and not in another. All right? So now, let's lose that and go to 2 Corinthians. Second Corinthians 5. And verse 8. Yes, we'll get to the point.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 5, and we're in verse 8. We are confident, I say, and willing rather to be present from the body. I'm sorry. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and 8. We are confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body.
All right, so decide. If you are absent from the body, that means that you are deceased. That means your body is dead. You're a corpse. Give him opportunity to get it. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and 8. Somebody help this brother out right here. Need a regular book?
Mhm.
Anybody got a scrap Bible? He probably good with that. He uses it a lot, so I mean he uses it, so he's got TikTok. Come on.
Got it.
2 Corinthians chapter 5 and 8.
This is 2 Corinthians 5 and 8. We are confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body.
Right. So now, if this is Paul the apostle, remember what type of person Paul was. I'm not talking about Saul the sinner. I'm talking about the brother that repented and Yahushua the Christ led him into a new born again mindset to where now his spirit began to communicate with the Most High, and now his understanding was open to where he understood the scriptures. Okay, so now with that being said, now he's not. Y'all gotta settle down, man. BJ, don't get up no more. Things like that, forgive me. It quenches the spirit. I have to stop. What was I saying? Yeah, absent from the body. Okay, he understood because the Lord opened up his understanding, and now he understands that when the righteous die, that this is they're most likely to be. He just said it, present with the Lord. You understand? So read it again.
This is 2 Corinthians 5 and 8. We are confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body and to be present with the Lord.
This ain't a level we at. People are afraid to die. We're afraid to die because we don't know what things is gonna be like for us. We got possessions, my house, my car, my son, my daughter. We're afraid of death. But this brother here, he said that they are confident. The we is talking about commandment keepers and willing to rather be dead and out of the body. Wow. Imagine that. If I took a poll in here and said, honestly, who would rather be dead and out of your body? Raise your hand. I don't think, if you're honest, I don't think I would get any hands up. Because the fear of the unknown. But the second part says, and to be present with the Lord. So we have to labor. Wherefore we labor, Israelites, that whether being present is being dead, or absent. Absent is now you alive here in the flesh. We may be accepted in him. So now let's go back to Daniel 7. So we're in Daniel 7 and the middle of 10 where it says 10,000 times 10,000 still before him. So y'all see why I said that about, our foreparents. They come from the Father. They come to the earth. They do His will. Also, we have to think of ourselves as somebody special. somebody great. If you think of yourselves as, hey, we are the holy people of the Lord, you begin to start what? Living like it, walking like it, thinking like it, talking like it, applying the scriptures like it. Okay, go ahead. Judgment.
The judgment was set, and the books were opened.
The judgment was set. What judgment you think that was? Get Revelations 11. The judgment was set because the beginning, not the beginning, but the 9th verse told us what? That how long did he see? He saw until the thrones was cast down. So when his judgment come out, Revelations 11 and verse 18, as a congregation, let's read the first couple precepts. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come. Stop. So when that judgment of the Most High came out, how do you think these nations felt? Angry. Mad, man. Yeah. When we out there teaching, man. When we going through the scriptures, the nations listening, the first thing they do is get mad. They get angry. I want everybody to know and remember that precept right there. Highlight that thing. We was out teaching and the Ishmaelite was in the background listening. But soon as this brother said the kingdom of heaven wasn't for and he was talking to a child, it wasn't for the nations, wasn't for the so-called white man, wasn't for the African, wasn't for the Arab. Ishmaelite then turned and walked away, but then he stopped. He said, let me listen some more. He stopped. But as soon as he said it,
he was talking to himself out loud.
was he?
Yeah.
Yeah. This judgment is set, man. It's set. It's going to stand. Y'all don't understand the wrath that has come upon the children of Israel. We're in this condition because of sin, man. This is a punishment. But this punishment is going to come to an end. And when it does, you want to be found reasonable, man. You want to be found faithful to the point to where you like, I obeyed the voice of the Most High. I sacrificed myself. You know, I kept the commandments. I hung in there because there's nothing wrong with murder. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Lying, I put off lying. There's nothing wrong with that. Those are things morally that you don't want somebody to transgress against you anyway. So if you don't want those things done, the scriptures do nothing but add to your righteousness. It adds to it. It makes it better. It gives it savor. Savor is like a flavor, man. Very, very tasteful. It gives it style. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come. So they mad, and the wrath of the Most High is in the earth too. It's going to rest upon these nations. When they coming down, boom. What do we read in Ecclesiastes 38? And let them know thee as we have known thee. What do you think that's talking about? As thou wast sanctified before us, be thou magnified before them. Most High is going to judge these nations. All right, finish.
And the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants.
Stop. And thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants. So your reward is going to come. Go ahead.
The prophets.
The prophets. So you got to carry yourself, man, like the prophets. You got to carry yourself like the wife of a prophet. You have to carry yourself like the children of the prophet. You can't carry yourself like what you see on television. You can't carry yourself from what you see people down the street doing, what you get at work. You're supposed to go to work and be a light. If you're in school, you're supposed to go to school and be the light. You're the light of the world. You're supposed to be the most important person in the building. Because this reward, it ain't gonna tarry. It's gonna come. When you least expect it, all you have to do is do the work. Right now, Israel, we got a lifetime commitment. We got a lifetime job. We are employed forever. And you building and storing up treasures in heaven. Your stuff is coming. Your kingdom is coming. Your mansion is coming. Your rulership, your power, your inheritance is coming. Even for you sisters, women, you got rights. You got rights. You're not doing this for no reason. You got an inheritance coming. You're not just doing this just to be, oh, you just the wife or the brother and it doesn't matter. That is a lie. That's condemned. This is for the sons and the daughters of the children of Israel, man. This is for the children too. Everybody got something coming. You have to be deserving of it, though. All the Lord has asked you to do is live righteously. He's not asking you to go kill anybody. Don't go kill nobody. Don't go steal nothing. Stop lying. He's not telling you to do anything wrong. He's telling you to do everything that's right according to his word. Go ahead.
And to the saints,
Go ahead.
and to them that fear thy name.
So the reward is coming to the servants, prophets, the saints, and them that fear his name. Okay, go ahead.
Small and great.
You see that? Small and great. Not just men with garments on. Stop admiring men. Okay? Go ahead.
And should destroy them
And should it destroy them, go ahead.
which destroy the earth.
Who's destroying the earth, man? The nations are destroying the earth. Okay, so let's go back. Daniel chapter 7.
This is Daniel chapter 7 and verse 10, second to last precept. The judgment was set, and the books were opened.
Right, and the books are open. Okay, you know what books that is, Israel? Talking about the books that you read, the Bible and the laws. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 11. I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain.
Right, he beheld until what? He saw the beast. The last beast this talking about is America. He saw it until it was slain. Go ahead.
And his body destroyed, and given to the burning flame.
Right. Do you know what the body is referring to? It's referring unto that nation. Right. Just like right now. So you have the body of Christ, which is what? His people. Right? So here it's referring to the body of this beast. Okay? Where do we stop at? Verse 12?
Yep. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away.
Right. See that? Concerning the rest of the beasts, meaning the nations, they had their power taken away. So the nations are going to be powerless. Okay. They're not going to have power, control. Isaiah 11, I believe it is.
Daniel 2. I mean Isaiah 2.
Isaiah 2, the second chapter of Isaiah. All right, now. Isaiah 2 and 4.
This is Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 4. And he shall judge among the nations.
Right, he's gonna judge the nations. Same thing we're reading in Daniel 4 and verse no, that was Daniel 7 and 12, right, where concerning the rest of the beasts had their dominion taken away. Now Isaiah 2 and 4, he gonna judge amongst the nations. Go ahead.
And shall rebuke many people.
Right, and they're gonna be rebuked. Go ahead.
And they shall beat their swords into plowshares.
Right, so is the Lord lying? No. No. The tools, all the skills that they had, some people are gonna be left alive. Okay? They're gonna be left alive. And then they're gonna be very articulate. And they're gonna learn how to what? Take the swords, things and instruments that they would have used to make war and to fight with into what?
Plowshares.
Plow. What are you gonna be plowing? You're gonna be plowing the ground. They're gonna plow the ground. Because we're gonna have some food that needs to be planted. So hurry up. Okay? Go ahead.
And their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore.
Right. They're not gonna learn war, so it ain't gonna be no troops. They're not gonna be marching. They're not gonna be saluting each other. They're not gonna be doing none of that. Okay? Let's go back. Daniel chapter 7 and 12, because they had their dominion taken away. You better not see you forming like that. What are you doing in that formation? Don't do that.
So this is Daniel chapter 7 and verse 12. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time. I saw
Please
in
stop. That's a lot right there. Yet their lives were prolonged for what? For a season. And for a time. So then it's going to come to pass to when after so long, then they're going to be destroyed. They're going to work and they're going to build these cities. They're going to build for us and build for us and build for us. And then they're going to get double. The same way that now they treat you like nothing because you have built everything. Now you have no need. And that they abuse you. Then it's going to come destruction time for these nations. Okay? Right with me? Yeah. So that explains, for those you don't know, you can read on your own time, but that explains Revelations 20. To when after reigning with Christ 1,000 years, the nation's gonna be in subjection, and then they're gonna be raised up, they're gonna be tempted by Satan the devil, they're gonna buck up and get put down, get beat. Scoffing. They're gonna get taken out. No more. All right? So let's go back. This is beautiful, man. Understanding this thing. So Daniel 7:13.
Daniel 7:13. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven,
Now he's talking about Yahushua. Go ahead.
and came to the Ancient of Days,
All right, so he came to the Most High. Go ahead.
and they brought him near before him, and there was given him dominion.
And there was given to Christ, it was given him dominion. So when it's talking about dominion, this is talking about world dominion, world domination. Okay, over the whole planet. Go ahead.
And glory,
Right, and he's gonna be glorified too. He's gonna be renowned and known for being the king of the earth. Go ahead.
and a kingdom,
Right, and he's gonna be given a kingdom. Go ahead.
that all people, nations, and languages should serve him.
So everybody on the face of the earth is going to serve him. So he is not going to be equal with man. They are going to be his servants. Go ahead.
His dominion is an everlasting dominion,
Right, so his domination and his living capacity is an everlasting capacity. Go ahead.
which shall not pass away,
Right.
and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me and made me know the interpretation of the things. These great beasts, which are four kings, which shall rise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom, and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
Right, so even though that these four kings that came up out of the earth and they had all this power and all this dominion and all of this control, what do you end up saying? But the saints of the Most High, they're going to take it. They are going to be able to take it. They're going to take it and they're going to possess it and never give it back. Never lose it again. So that's what we're striving for, the ever and ever and ever part. Okay? Go ahead.
Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast,
Right, so the fourth one is the last one. And we're living in that last beast now. Go ahead.
which was diverse from all the others, even exceeding dreadful.
Why is the fourth beast diverse from all? If you know the book of Daniel, why is the fourth beast diverse from all other beasts?
Yeah, 4 feet.
Yeah, it's two nations, there's the two lands. Israel and parts of
Not so. Not only so. Anybody else? Why do you think it's diverse? Daniel, the second chapter. And start at verse 31.
This is Daniel chapter 2 and verse 31. Thou, O king, sawest, and behold a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. This image's head was of fine gold, his beast and his arms of silver,
His breast.
his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay.
Right, so that's the fourth kingdom. Okay? So, what's the problem with the fourth kingdom? The legs of the iron, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay.
They mix it together.
It's mixed together. And that's what makes the kingdom different from all the other kingdoms. All the other kingdoms and its rulership didn't mix with all nations. Like right now, this is called the melting pot. And it's weak like that by being the melting pot. Anytime you mix your kingdom with other people, you are vulnerable for mutiny, for coups, for overthrows. You are vulnerable for all different types of havoc and great wickedness. And that's why it was never in the best interest for the Israelites to be mixed with any other nation. We were always supposed to be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. We was never supposed to ever mix with any other people. And we could always buy, sell, and trade to other nations, but we was never supposed to mix with other nations. And that's the issue and the problem. That's their kink in their armor. That they open up the floodgate to be one people, and to show you that they have a pattern, of doing that because it's in their bloodline lineage to where they think that way is a successful way, but that's the structural damage to them. It's in Maccabees, the first chapter. First Maccabees chapter 1 and 41.
This is First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and every one should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
Right. So all these nations that come together, they would lead their laws, they would be one people, and all the nations, they agreed. Same thing happening now. That was diverse from all the other kingdoms. Okay? So we can go back. Just wanted to prove that point. Daniel 7. Daniel 7, and did you stop at?
Verse 19.
Verse 19, okay.
This is Daniel chapter 7, verse 19. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, break in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet.
Right. Why they call them dreadful? Because of the destruction, the bombs, the murder, the iron tanks, the nails of brass, referring to like ammunition and stuff like that. Go ahead.
Verse 20. And of the 10 horns that were in his head,
Right, that's the common market of the European Union, okay? The 10 horns that were in his head. Go ahead.
and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them, until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom.
Right, stop. So he said, I continue to see that the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. So when we go into verse 22 and it says, until the Ancient of Days came, that's going into the very end. That's where the Most High stops the thing and sends Yahushua to Christ and the angels, and then the judgment is given unto the saints of the Most High. All right? Before we get to that, let's go to Psalms. Psalms chapter 90. Right there doing the making of the war with the saints. Psalms chapter 90 and verse 1.
This is Psalms 90 and 1. Lord, thou hast been our dwelling place in all generations. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever thou hadst formed the earth and the world, even from everlasting to everlasting, thou art God.
Meaning you have been our protector. Go ahead.
Verse 3. Thou turnest man to destruction, and sayest, return ye children of men.
Right, return, ye children of men. So when it's saying thou turnest man to destruction, meaning he allowed his sons to do what? To run into tribulation. He chastened, he corrected us with the destruction, and then turn around and ask us to return unto him. Go ahead.
Verse 4. For 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday, when it is past.
When it is past. So now, meditate on it. 1,000 years are as but yesterday. Yesterday is what? Yesterday is what? Yesterday is gone. Yesterday is gone. So 1,000 years was in the sight of the Lord is but yesterday. So you can live 1,000 years in the sight of the Lord. You cannot turn from the Lord. In other words, you can't not commit treason, turn against the Lord, and then expect the Most High to continue like you just didn't do what you're doing. Even though you've been with him, how long? 1,000 years. Because 1,000 years, he's gonna be like, that's yesterday, man. That's old news. You can't do what you do. Okay? So I mean, everybody understand that? Right. Because a lot of us, we like to ride on the coattail of yesterday. Yo, man, I did the right thing yesterday. I was keeping the commandments a week ago. Man, I was on fire a month ago. I used to do the right thing. You can't be like that. So now we ain't put in 1,000 years worth of work. But whatever work you have put in is yesterday and today is today. So now you got to do today what you need to do today to be accepted of him today and for tomorrow. Because tomorrow, remember Christ taught us, take no thought for tomorrow. Tomorrow should take thought of itself. The evil thereof is a sufficient thereof. Let's go and get that for them so they can understand that.
Basically, when you're saying every day to be accounted for, right?
Right. Yesterday is a done deal. Don't even mention it. You'd be a fool to try. You go off today, you gotta deal with it. You gotta deal with today. It can't be like yesterday I was righteous. Christ told you, he had told you what to ask for. Give us this day our daily bread. Okay? So, Matthew chapter 6 and verse 34.
This is Matthew chapter 6 and verse 34. Matthew 6 and 34. Take therefore no thought for the morrow.
Now, if it's telling you to take no thought for tomorrow, that means we shouldn't be thinking, neither should we be worried about tomorrow. That's what it's going into. Okay? Although a lot of us, we seen that we can't get that far right. Worried about tomorrow. You ain't supposed to do that. You're worried about tomorrow, gonna make you act up when? It's gonna make you act up today. Go ahead.
For tomorrow shall take thought for the things of itself.
Tomorrow gonna deal with itself. Go ahead.
Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof.
Sufficient. Sufficient is a certain amount. So it's trying to tell you that sufficient unto the day, meaning whatever day you in, you have a certain amount. You have an adequate amount that you have to deal with that day. So now, if yesterday is gone and tomorrow you can't do nothing about, you left to fend for today. Deal with today. When it comes to applying the scriptures, today is the day. Okay? Today is the day. Live your life one day at a time. Making sure that you're going to be faithful to thus says the Lord. One day at a time. That's how you got to live. Okay? So now let's go back. What's that? 90 and verse 4. Psalms chapter 90 and verse 4 again.
This is Psalms 90 and verse 4. For 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday, when it is past, and as a watch in the night. Thou carriest them away as with a flood. They were as a sleep. In the morning they are like grass which groweth up. In the morning it flourisheth and groweth up. In the evening it is cut down and withered.
Right. That's how life will pass us by. Right. That's how life will pass us by. That fast. Go ahead.
For we are consumed by thine anger.
So this is going into Israel. Okay? It's going into Israel. We'll be consumed. We were consumed by the anger of the Lord. Okay? Go ahead.
And by thy wrath are we troubled.
Go ahead.
Thou hast set our iniquities before thee.
Right. He has set our sins before him. Go ahead.
Our secret sins in the light of thy countenance.
Our what sins? Our secret sins. You know, the ones that we hide from one another. Those sins. The Lord said, I see. Yeah, I see. So, you know, we have these classes giving you an opportunity, Israel, to confess your faults, to confess your sins. You know, to bring it out and go through certain things. That's why we constantly talk about a diet. Make sure that you're eating a clean diet. make sure that you are dressing appropriately. Okay? If our men cannot dress like women, our women cannot dress like men. What else? We always talk about sexual immorals. You cannot have these inordinate affections. Okay? An inordinate affection is an emotion that's not ordinary. You are not to feel like that. You can't have those type of emotions. You cannot have some type of love like, oh, I'm in truth. No, you're not. You are viewing it. You're viewing the truth. You're on the outside looking at the truth over there. You might even have a book. Get this over here with me. And you will straight be over here like, that's right. Knowing you ain't in truth, man. You can't be like that. So we have to go through these things. Not to personally attack one individual. This is not one individual. This is concerning 144,000 people and a mixed multitude, innumerable. So we say certain things. We don't know your secret sins. Sometimes you think that we know your secret sins because you think that we can read minds. We can't read your minds, but you know who do know your heart? The Most High knows your heart, man. And because He knows your heart, He knows that, Israel, you be in sin, and you will hide your sin. But guess what? You secret sinners, you ain't gonna be protected. If you're alive during that time, when these people are making war with the saints, you're gonna fall. So we have to say these things to correct you so that you don't tempt the Lord and be like, oh, I'm just gonna keep on waiting and waiting, and you keep hiding and hiding, and you'll end up falling during time of war. So please, don't go out that way. So we had Psalms 90:8, thou hast set our iniquities before thee, our secret sins in the light of thy countenance. Go ahead.
For all our days are passed away in thy wrath. We spend our years as a tale that is told. The days of our years are 80 years and 10. And if by reason of strength they be 80 years.
Meaning 80, 1 score is 20. So the verse said 80 and 10, that's 70. 80 is 80. Sometimes people live to be 80 years old, yet is their strength and labor and sorrow. Yet is their strength, labor, and sorrow. So sometimes people would get old and they will spend their strength full of what? Labor and sorrow, because they transgresses of the commandments of God. Go ahead.
For it is soon cut off, and we fly away. Who knoweth the power of thine anger, even according to thy fear, so is thy wrath. So teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom.
Right. What does it mean, teach us to number our days? Meaning, help us to see every day that I'm given an opportunity. So when we come here, I'll be like, you know what? All praises to the Most High for giving us, let me number this day. Give us another day to fear the Lord and keep His commandments. Teach us to acknowledge the day that you gave us. You gave me another chance to repent. Teach us to acknowledge our days. Teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. Go ahead.
Return, O Lord, how long? And let it repent thee concerning thy servant.
Right. Let Him feel some type of way. Let Him look down upon us and be remorseful concerning His people. Go ahead.
Verse 14. O satisfy us early with thy mercy, that we may rejoice and be glad all our days. Make us glad according to the days wherein thou hast afflicted us, and the years wherein we have seen evil. Let thy work appear unto thy servants, and thy glory unto their children. And let the beauty of the Lord our God be upon us. And establish thou the work of our hands upon us. Yea, the work of our hands establish thou it.
Go ahead.
Psalms 91:1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
Right. What is the secret place of the Most High? In His covenant. Remember how the scriptures talk about the straight and narrow. Right. The straight and narrow. There few there be that find it. Right. So it's not very out there, very wide, very open. So that path will be the secret place of the Most High. Go ahead.
Verse 2. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence.
Right. It says, surely He will do what? He will deliver thee. See how all this is not is going to really start tying into that Daniel the 7th chapter. He shall deliver thee from the noise of the fowler and from the nuisance pestilence. That's the noisome destruction. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 4. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust.
Now listen. This is what's going to cover you. Okay? He's going to cover you with feathers, and under His wings you are to trust. Go ahead.
His truth shall be thy shield.
His truth shall be thy shield. So this is what we need during the time. You need the truth. But you need to be walking in truth, living in truth. You need to be about the truth. His truth shall be thy shield. Go ahead.
And buckler.
Right, and buckler. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night.
You are not supposed to be afraid. Fear gonna come upon you though, because you're gonna be like hearing things that you ain't never heard before, seeing things that you never saw before. You are not. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night. Things are gonna happen. That's just a sentence. But what are some of the things that happen? Murder, robbery, rape, stealing, rifling. That's like intrusion, kicking in, barging in. All those things will be happening. Okay? Go ahead.
Nor for the arrow that flieth by day.
Nor for the destruction. Maybe I missed it. You're right. Nor for the arrow that flieth by day. You know what that my board is for. But hey, they ain't shooting arrows in our days now. They be shooting bombs, man. Did y'all see that one? That's why I showed y'all that. I put that one little clip in there, man. About 12 strong. This clip I put into our messenger about them having, they might have been over in Afghanistan, and they had a truck. It might have had like, man, it might have had like 50 missiles on it. About 50 missiles. And they was just shooting at one time. Shoot, 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 shoot. It just kept on. Y'all see that clip I sent?
Oh, okay. God.
You saw it?
Yeah.
None of y'all saw it? Man, I seen y'all stuff. I know this, but I seen y'all stuff. It's for y'all to watch it. I don't seen you about Elmo and all Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. Man, what are y'all doing, man? What's that little? Ain't that the little mean emoji? Man, the woman got his hand on her head, man. Come on. Trying to talk war with y'all brothers, y'all don't understand. It be going over y'all head, man. That stuff out there. Rock, you know what I'm talking about. I told him that just I said, man, you come on back to town, man. We gonna sit down and talk, man. Anymore. Sit down and talk, man. That thing, man. What could you do with something like that? Wish I had the audio. We was down together. And that thing, I'm telling you, it was on the truck. It's probably like 3/4 of, let's just say, maybe this wall here from this corner past the doorway. And it had rockets on it. It might have been the size, they probably been 7, 8 foot. I like that. And I think they were over in Afghanistan trying to do something. And then nobody was supposed to know that they were there. So they had 12 men. The name of the movie is 12 Strong. And so they had to hook up with, had to hook up with this military, but they were on horseback. So they were totally out of the elements. You know, they had guns, but then they had horses. So they had to ride the horses through the mountains to try and take this town. But then they run into this doggone truck. And this truck, man, was giving them the blues, man. So when you see all of these different engines of war, you know, you have to wonder if we live in these times when this stuff hit us. You got to keep your eyes there. So what could we be facing? What could you be facing? That will wipe out, bro, that could wipe out blocks. That could wipe out blocks, man. And they just kept reloading it. And they had to see binoculars just to see it. So they were like maybe city blocks. They might have been about 2 city blocks away. You know, they were up in hills and the thing was just shooting at them, man, and they had to try and get to it. And the guys were smart because they were hitting the mountains, making the rocks fall down upon them. It was crazy. I'm waiting to see it again. So we're going to see, the scriptures say that we're going to see Israelites, they're going to see arrows that fly by day in their time. It'll happen. It's going to happen. But it's wrote that we're going to survive that. And that's why you got to prepare your mind. First, you got to be in these scriptures, because what's going to happen the day you don't have a physical book? What happens if the day you don't have a physical book to relate to go into? It has to be in your heart. Oh, not in your emotions, but the pump fast. It's got to be in your mind to, I'm going to react fast. I know what to do because this is his word. It's got to transform. You got to be transformed by the renewing in your mind. It's this word you got to be the word made flesh now. Your actions are precepts. Your words is the laws. Okay? So let's get back to it. Psalms 91. In verse 5. Thou shalt not be afraid, nor the terror by night, for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. So the Lord is saying day and night is where we're going to have problems. Nighttime is going to be terror. Daytime, it's going to be war. It's going to be arrows. I think I wanted Second Ezra 16. Before you write, let me make sure. Second Ezra 16. Bear with me. Very small point. Let's see if I can. I read something else. All right, I know it's 16. I think sometimes we see things in different dynamics. Then we go back to it, and it's something else. I thought it was worth looking at. We'll lose it. Okay, y'all, my apologies. Let's just lose it. Let's go back. Oh, here it is. 71. Second Ezra 16. And 71.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 71. They shall be like madmen, sparing none.
So now, remember we were in Psalms 91 and 6, 5, terror at night. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror at night. So there's going to be terror at night. So the scriptures say they're going to be like madmen, sparing none. So, rumors are the first thing they want to go after of is electricity. Once electricity, you understand, is down, you won't have no natural resources. You won't have no gas, no electric. Probably won't have no water. They'll probably have to cut water supply off. I don't know, probably cut water supply off. I've even seen things to where people try and contaminate water. Because if you contaminate the water, then you sicken the people. And once the people are sick, then they're weak. Then, you will come in, they'll already know, don't drink the water. So they'll probably be bringing their own water with them. You understand? So we was just dealing with the day and the night thing. At night, it's going to be problems. It's going to pop off. It's going to pop off. Everything that you take for granted now, you're gonna want a strong mind, body, and soul, spirit. You're gonna wanna be healthy. When I just felt sick the last week or so, I was like, dang man, what if it was time of war and I was sick? I pity the person that's sick during time of war, man. People gonna die. You don't have no medicine. You don't have no heat. To stay warm when you're sick, you need warmth. It's gonna be brutal. We're not ancient like our foreparents were. It'd be hard. All these amenities ain't gonna be the same. So you gotta learn how to get that tough titty. You're gonna learn how to. You're gonna have to learn how to sometimes. Go without, what happens when you don't have no sweets? In the middle of this, brother say sweets. Your body is addicted to all different type of stuff, man. You got parasites in you that's gonna be going crazy. The worm gonna be like, feed me. Feed me, ain't no grub. Man. Then on top of this, so verse 71, they shall be like madmen, man. Go ahead, sparing none.
Sparing none, but still spoiling.
Still spoiling. Go ahead.
And destroying those that fear the Lord.
Go ahead.
For they shall waste and take away their goods.
Yeah, so a lot of people, when you have stuff, where there's goods at, man, they're gonna be going after that stuff. A lot of people think you're gonna be able to protect their stuff, keep their stuff, have their stuff. Man, that stuff gonna be taken. Go ahead.
And cast them out of their houses.
That's what I was talking about. And they will be cast out of their houses. Put clean out. That little nestled up, what they call it, a nest egg, or egg nest or whatever, that little nestled up place you got prepared and prepped, this, that, and the third. Somebody else, they will take that, man. Let's lose that. We're gonna go through something, man. So, Psalms 91. And the second precept of 5, it says, nor for the arrow that fly by night. So all the stuff that we seeing, we're gonna survive. We have to keep our mind straight so we don't have the fear of these things. Verse 6,
Nor the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday.
right, so when we see all that destruction, we're gonna have to learn to keep on trucking. Keep moving. Go ahead.
Verse 7, 1,000 shall fall at thy side.
That's the point. What I'm saying, people will be dying. Yeah. In war, it's called casualties of war. You're gonna see 1,000 people dying. You're gonna see tens, hundreds of people dying. Dead bodies everywhere. That's what's gonna be seen in order for you to be alive. Go ahead.
And 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee.
It ain't supposed to come by you. So how is 10,000 able to die next to you? Are you seeing countless people? That's what this represents. You've seen countless people and you're still alive. Is it a coincidence? Is it just by chance? Is it luck? Oh, is it you immune to the strain? It ain't none of the above. It's the Most High that's preserving you. That's why the most important thing that you can be doing is learning to keep yourself from sin. See? It will let me learn 10 languages. Let me outdress everybody. Let me make sure that I got all, the styles down. Let me make sure that I am, through faith in Christ, keeping the commandments. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 8, only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked.
Only with your eyes. Then you're going to be able to see. This is called the vengeance of the Lord. Remember how God said, vengeance is mine? The scripture say you're going to see with your eyes and you're going to behold the wicked. Yeah, you're going to see that they reward. I know y'all laughing at me over here clowning, man. I'm going to get him. Go ahead, man.
Verse 9, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High thy habitation.
Right, you're safe because you have made the Lord the Most High. You're safe. That's why you were able to survive. This is about survival of the fittest. All right, go ahead.
There shall no evil befall thee.
What evil is this referring to? All that destruction. That vent that's behind you, you can close it and send the air downstairs. It's closed, still hot. Okay. There shall no evil befall thee. So all this death, destruction, and all of this stuff happening, and no evil falling upon you, why do you think? It has everything to do with the keeping of the commandments. Do you not know, young blood? Leave them alone. These things are being taught to you so that they could help, you to see and understand that you must change your behavior. This is how you survive. Go ahead.
Neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling.
What's a plague?
Judgment.
Okay. Anybody else? I didn't hear you. What did you say? A disease. Disease or sickness. Neither shall any plague come into your dwelling. Plague come in is something that you got to fix and work on. Thus says the Lord. Nobody see and understand that? You ever known and seen, okay, somebody's sick, or, these people ain't sick, but these people sick. the Most High knows how to stay there, please, from you. That's another way, because they're gonna be bio warfare too, chemical warfare too. There are gonna be weapons that are gonna be formed against you as well. There are gonna be weapons that are gonna be formed against your oppressors, targeting them. And the wicked of Israel, they gonna get caught up too with it. You think they gonna separate the so-called blacks from the so-called whites? They send a plague? Nah, they gonna do that. They wanna send a plague. But only the righteous are gonna survive.
Verse 11. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways.
And what is that saying? So the angels are gonna keep, gonna protect you. All the death that you have been through, it's the angels that's supposed to keep you alive. That's their job. They will protect you, they will shield you. It's the angels that will, through the Spirit of the Most High, have the plagues not come, the sicknesses not come. And to keep you, when it says in all thy ways, show you which way to go, to survive, to live. Okay? Verse 12.
They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone.
Right. In other words, things going down, they will protect you. Buildings collapsing, you are protected. You will fall, they will protect you. Okay, go ahead.
Thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder, the young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet.
Right. Do you expect a true ass or a lion? The bad man. Remember how the righteous are bold as what? Did he turn into a no. So when need be, you run into somebody, pow! You understand? You will put your work in, keep moving. Go ahead.
Verse 14. Because he has set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him.
So why? Because we, before any of this stuff happened, we have set our love upon the love of the scriptures. See, Israel, you gotta love this. If you hate this, you gotta die. If you love this, you gotta live. If you hate this, when you call upon the Lord, He's not gonna answer. You know what's gonna answer? Man, dread gonna answer. All the gangsters gonna come. They gonna answer. But if you did set this love upon you, when protection time comes, oh, you got a legion of angels around you to protect you. You're going to be in the right place at the right time. You're going to have brothers and sisters all ready to support you, to help. And then the spirit realm, there are angels. This is true. That will be there to lead, guide you, and protect you, to keep you in the way. That happens because you love the Lord before all of this crap hits the fan. See, right now, everybody just going, starting up the car, boom, warming it up. Listening to the music. Y'all see a little video, one little boy was in his mom's back seat, crooning Al, what was that, what's his name, Al Green. He was in the back, he must have been about 10 years old, he was frowning and crying, singing Al Green. He was having a good old time. But those times, they gonna come and go, man. I tell y'all. Whether we're allowed to see them or not. That's a good question. Who would want to see? Who would want to see these times? Raise your hand. It's all right. It's not a good question. Ain't nobody? One, two, huh? That's it. That's it. We all should. I want to. Let's go to the book of Amos. But I understand it's not for everybody. Amos 5:18. Now, if you don't want to see that day, that's because what? So this is a reality check. If you don't want to see that day, that's because you wouldn't sin. Because even though the scriptures just told you, the Lord, he said, he got you. He said, you ain't going to even dash your foot. You ain't going to even kick a rock. You see? Come on, man. So you ain't going to even dash your foot against the stone. So the angel's going to have you, keep you in the way. It's going to be well with you. Said 1,000 on this side, 10,000 on that side. You turn that paper up, put on phone. I'm finna smoke. I'm finna big worm. Craig and Smokey right out the class. Right, but he already said he got you. He say, man, 1,000 gonna fall on this side and 10,000 on that side. Y'all still screwed. But this is, because he said this. Read it.
This is Amos chapter 5:18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light.
Right, because some people it's going to be darkness. It's going to be really, really bad. They're going to get the lights cut off. Bam. And not light. I'm wondering, do some people figure that they're not going to be able to survive because you don't believe in the scriptures, or you're not going to be able to survive because of your actions? If you believe in the scriptures and you don't believe that you're going to be able to survive because of your actions, what do? You change your actions. Change your actions. Don't make them hard. It might be hard for you, but it ain't hard for the next person. And if it's not hard, y'all show the video. If it's not hard, for another brother or another sister, then you should get with that brother and get with that sister so that they can help show you how to get it done. How to overcome your transgression of the laws. Stop making it a fear. Oh, I'm afraid. Lying, you're lying. Okay? Give you an example. This young brother, I said, He said, oh, I'm gonna think about coming to the school. I said, are you gonna sleep? I think he was being a little funny. I said, are you gonna sleep tonight? He said, no. I said, you gonna eat? He said, yeah. I said, so you see how, forward company, you know you're gonna eat. Well, when it comes to learning to get yourself together, just make the decision and say, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what you have to do when you concerning your soul, concerning change, so that you don't end up falling short. You gotta wanna do it. Then it ain't gonna be like a darkness to you. It'll be light to you, man. You're gonna be rejoicing. You got people, everybody can't fear the day of the Lord. You understand? This is the day when the Lord overthrow our oppression. Everybody understand? This is the day he overthrow the oppression. So if he's gonna overthrow the oppression on that day, you don't want that day to come, because that day your life gonna be taken. So you would just rather live in oppression than the Lord to overthrow oppression, which is called the day of the Lord. When all you gotta do is just stop sinning, and then you won't have to feel that way about having oppression overthrown. Verse 19.
As if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand upon the wall, and the serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it?
Right, so it's very dark, even very terrible, dreadful. And there's nothing bright in it. There's no glimmer of hope in that day for the sinner. Now let's show you the opposite side of it. Go to, Isaiah 14. Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 3.
This is Isaiah 14 and 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked, and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindered. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing.
They break forth singing. This is the same day. The Lord is not, you think the Lord gonna just be at a 7-year war with the heathens? No, man, it's gonna happen, boom. It's gonna happen in one day. So you got one part, people, they gonna hate it. They gonna be like, man, the day of the Lord, I hate that. I don't wanna see that day. Because they're like, I know I'm gonna die. And the scripture say, yeah. But they desire, you got some people that desire the day of the Lord, but if you're not ready, then you foolishly. It's gonna be the doomsday for you. But if you know that you're gonna fail, then you have to prepare yourself to pass. That's what you would have to do. You have to prepare yourself to pass. How? By taking heed. Wherewithal shall the young man cleanse his way? By taking heed unto according to thy word. You got to take heed. We speak the word one to another. So when we speaking to you, you got to be willing to listen. Okay, so let's lose all of that and go back to Psalms 91.
This is Psalms chapter 91 and verse 14. Because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble,
Wait a second, I will be with him in trouble, so there will be trouble, and that's when we do something like what? 4-letter word. Great. Go ahead. I will deliver him.
I will deliver him,
Right, I will deliver him. So the Lord said he will, in other words, for him to deliver us, that means he will hear our prayer. Go ahead.
and honor him.
And honor him. Okay, go ahead.
With long life will I satisfy him, and show him my salvation.
Right, the long life is going into end of days. Instead of, oh, I could have been killed. No, you ain't dead. You ain't died. He didn't kill you. He, instead, he gave you length of days. All right. Let's see. So let's go back to Daniel 7. And we'll finish that.
So this is Daniel chapter 7 and verse 22. Until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down, and break in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws.
Right, so this is where you get the changing of times from. Okay? Change the time. You got time going forward, time going backwards, all different types of stuff happening. This is the Roman Empire that did this. And also changed the laws. Okay? Every law in the scriptures has been changed. The first commandment is being broken, all the way down to the 10th commandment, everything. You can have another God. You can go into idolatry. You don't have to. You can worship them. You can bow down to them. You have freedom of religion, freedom of speech. You don't. The Sabbath is changed. You can kill because they kill. You can steal, covet. You commit adultery. You commit adultery by dealing with a woman that has a husband. Why is you dealing with a man and you have a husband? Or dealing with somebody who was married and then they separated. Well, you can't break wedlock. Can't do that. So every law in the Bible has been changed. All the dietary laws, it's confusion of faces. Because of, the Bible tell you don't defile your temple. The script, they have twisted it up. There's nothing that you can eat that can defile your temple. I mean, it's just completely ruthless. Where do we stop at?
25.
25. Go ahead.
And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and a dividing of time. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end.
So that's the final say so. That the Lord is not changing his mind. Many people have tried to change the way things work on earth, but the Lord said no, he's not changing that. The judgment is going to sit, and all his power and authority is going to be taken away. and this kingdom is gonna, the fourth one is gonna be consumed way into the end. Go ahead.
And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High.
Right, it's not, which is the Israelites. It's not anybody that say that, we could be an Israelite. No, not anybody that wants to be an Israelite. This is a bloodline. There are no spiritual Israelites. Okay? There's no such thing as a spiritual Israelite. You're gonna know Israel by the stuff that they do, by the spirit that the Most High gives you to walk in His law, statutes, and commandments, the Holy Spirit. Okay, go ahead.
Whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom.
Right, so the kingdom of the people of the saints of the Most High, that is a kingdom that is going to be everlasting. It ain't gonna stop. It's gonna come after this kingdom here. Okay, go ahead.
And all dominions shall serve and obey him.
And everybody's gonna serve Jacob. Okay. So let's go ahead.
Verse 28. Hitherto is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my cogitations much troubled me, and my countenance changed in me, but I kept the matter in my heart.
Second Ezra. Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 1.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 6 and verse 1. And he said unto me, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or ever the winds blew, before it thundered and lightened, or ever the foundation of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together, or ever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named, or ever the chimneys in Zion were high, and ere the present years were sought out, or ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned. Before they were sealed, they have gathered faith for a treasure. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also shall be ended, and by none other. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world.
So Esau is the end of the world. So when the kingdom of Esau comes, you are in the end of the world. Okay, go ahead.
and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed.
Right, and then the scriptures say Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. So now jump over to the 7th chapter. 2nd Ezra chapter 7. And start at 41.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 7 and verse 41. Even so now, seeing corruption is grown up, and wickedness increased, and the righteous have prayed for the ungodly, wherefore shall it not be so now also? He answered me and said, This present life is not the end where much glory doth abide. Therefore have they prayed for the weak. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come.
So during the Edomite reign, that's the day of doom. The scripture is going to come during that time. So anybody that's living in the kingdom of Esau is subject to experience the day of doom. Okay? But the day of doom shall be in the end of this time, and the beginning of what? Jacob, like it says in the 6th chapter. The immortality for to come. Go ahead.
Wherein corruption is past.
Right, corruption is past. So anything that's off is going to be done away with. Anything that's corrupt is going to be over with. Okay? No more police brutality. No more corruption. No more poverty. No more any of those things. No more stealing, burglary, robbery, smoking drugs, excessive drunkenness, fornication, strip clubs.
I'm not sure I understand.
Go ahead.
Verse 44. Intemperance is at an end.
What is intemperance? Lack of control. Lack of control of what? Temper. Go ahead.
Infidelity is cut off.
What is infidelity? Right? What is infidelity?
Unfaithful.
The other brother. Taza, want to help him out? What is infidelity? Okay. Jara, you think you know? Infidelity is not being faithful in marriage. It's cut off. People call them cheats. That's over. See how hard-hearted infidelity makes sisters, make you hard-hearted. Can't trust because you got lying souls. That's over. Everybody like that is gonna drop dead. If they alive, trustworthy. If you are the person that's a lying soul, you gotta quit, or you gonna drop dead. You can play games if you want to. You'll wake up out of your body and realize ain't no getting back in it. Okay, go ahead.
Righteousness is grown.
Righteousness is grown. So this is in the kingdom at this point. Go ahead.
And truth is sprung up. Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed.
Right, so if you're destroyed, you're destroyed. Ain't no saving, man. Ain't no coming back. This is the chance. This is the opportunity. This is the opportunity that you get. So we got to agree to continue to meet one another, to help one another, so that we can deliver ourselves to the Spirit of the Most High Christ. But you gotta make that decision yourself. You gotta make that decision. Because once you destroy it, ain't no coming back. Ain't no tears gonna be able to bring it back. I've even known people to play dumb. Like, I don't see, I can't see. I ain't understand, I don't understand. I ain't understand. Now you ain't understand. For real, you ain't understand? No, I don't understand, I ain't understand. You married brothers. Don't commit whoredom. You always used to be going in on sisters. Don't commit whoredom, because I'm going to teach them right. I'm going to tell them when you strike out. Oh, he struck out. You think you can just go do your thing and be right. You're going crazy. Can't do that. I can't do no wrong. He can do wrong. I can't do no wrong. You can't do wrong. The Most High give us spirit to carry on. And you, bye-bye. You delivered up to Satan. You got to go. See? Can't be like that. Truth, it's got to be spring up. Well, once you destroy yourself, that's where we was. Once you destroy yourself, it's done. You're supposed to not do that. And little children that's growing up, yeah, give y'all attention. Little children that's growing up, stop getting fascinated with, watching your mothers and your dad and them TV. Getting sensual, feelings, catching feelings. Thinking you need to be touched. You're bugged out of your mind. Don't catch no spirit. Let somebody touch you. You got something good. You got your virginity. That's important. That's worth more than any amount of number of money on the face of the earth. That's like immortality. You will get one of them. One chance to be a virgin. One. That's better. That's the best. You have got the best. So you don't do nothing simple like let somebody touch you. Are you nuts? You don't let anybody ever touch you. You don't enter into a conversation. It's better than gold. Let's talk about your virginity. No, you don't do that. It's better than gold. People try to trick you. It's better than gold. Let me get a kiss. No, that's better than gold. Don't kiss nobody. Don't touch nobody. Don't enter into a conversation. That's a treasure. I'm not tricking you. Congregation, out me if I'm tricking them. Please, call me a big fat liar. If I'm tricking them, go ahead and bust me out. Am I tricking them? No. Y'all can speak. Am I tricking them?
No.
I'm not tricking y'all, man. Y'all got something very valuable. The world has diminished it. You understand? For a deceitful reason. You are choice. You are that's when I say choice, I'm not saying you have a choice to choose between all of them. No, I'm saying you are top notch when you like that. You will enter into the room when you are the most valuable person there because you have that thing with you that you don't realize. That virginity, man. Come on. Y'all just don't know it. And they don't tell you that. So you think you come here, not you think, but when you come here and you get corrected on the laws and you leave, feel some type of way, like, oh man, I just got told I can't do this, I can't do that. So then now you don't want to believe the virginity thing either. Don't take none of that grievous. I'm not hurting you. I'm trying to tell you that you're special. You're unique. You got something I ain't got. You got something I ain't. All these adults, ain't no adult in here got that. You got the business. You're the deal. Hold your head up high and keep it to yourself. And let us coach you and tell you one day when you have proved a fruitful person, then through counsel you say, that's a good idea. Then marry. And you'll be proud of yourself. Anything other than that, how y'all youngsters say, trash. You end up trash,
Right.
heartbroken, devastated. And you'll end up like everybody else. If you don't want to end up like everybody else, then don't do what everybody else do. Don't do that, okay, make sure.
Real quick, so Ezra himself, the angel, like the spirit complimented Ezra based upon the very thing that the brother's bringing out. So it's chapter 6 and verse 32, straight to the point. So we know Ezra was a great man in Israel, righteous, and feared the Most High and did his will.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and 32. For thy voice is heard before the Most
So
High.
this is being told to Ezra. Thy voice is heard before the Most High. All right, keep reading.
For the mighty have seen thy righteous dealings.
So the mighty is talking about the Lord. The Most High have seen his righteous dealings, right? So this is talking about his actions and also something else. Keep reading.
He hath seen also thy chastity.
Stop. What is chastity? That's a question. Anybody, brothers, y'all can answer that. What's chastity?
Keeping your, like the elder said, it's possessing your vessel in honor.
Yes, that's what chastity is. It's like not living in fornication. All right, not having sexual encounters, intercourse. That's what chastity is talking about. So the Most High is the spirit, the angel is complimenting Ezra, letting them know that the Most High see you in everything you're doing. He see your righteous actions, and you're not walking around trying to lay down with all the women. So that's something that's supposed to be seen in all of you. Like the brother said, don't see the TV and start getting bugged out having these sensual feelings. Stay in chastity. All right, you finish.
Which thou hast had ever since thy
You
youth.
see that? So did it start when he was already an adult? No. It started from the age that y'all is up in here.
You know, we all started when we was an adult. We're like, dang, man, I wish I had known that then. That's how we feel. Every adult in here feel like, dang, man, I wish I had known that then. So we could go back and be our age with the smarts that we have now. Shoot, we'll do that. We'll do that. We'll have this virtue, this strength. But we're trying to instill it into y'all so that y'all can do better than what we did. You see? Is it?
Yeah, so that's heavy though.
Yeah.
Because the spirit just told him this. That's noted in heaven. That you deal in chastity. So let that be some confidence, encouragement to stay humble.
Okay, so there was 7 and 45. Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed. So a lot of times, man, I've seen it. I've seen a person destroy their life and then they want to undo it. Please, man, don't do that. I'm telling you, being alive. I've seen people not listen, make the wrong decision, then come back after they destroy, like, hey, elder, can you help me undo this? I'm like, no,